Okay, this should be part B. And I don't have any weird audio in my ear right now. Camera 1 is working. Medicare Part B. Let's see if I can get back into Zoom. Unless they figured out how to block me.
To
Bring up
the thumbnail screen.
the show for
let's
me.
see what we get now. This ought to be fun.
Well, he's back on
And
YouTube.
this goes to Windows,
I
youtube.com/LWTDB live.
Okay,
8 people have found their way to the show.
And that is the current one because
And
Brian,
there's
Keith, and
Zoom.
myself commented.
Let's see. Oh, I've got to
But
turn
he's not-
on
he's-
virtual camera
He's
first.
back on Zoom, but his camera's not functioning because that's his.
Then
Zivvy Manor
non-camera
said we
picture.
are back.
There he is.
Up.
Okay,
And he's
now-
working.
Now
Wait.
we've got
And
picture.
then
All we need now is sound, and he's good to go.
speakers, That's wrong. Speakers for Zoom goes to my headset.
I hear him on YouTube.
All right, I hear Tim. Do you hear me? Whoops, nope. I heard Tim. Do you hear me?
Yes, now we hear you.
All
Now
right.
we hear you.
And I got camera working everywhere. Unboxing camera. Keyboard camera. Camera 1. And then Zoom came up on
Yeah.
the broadcast. So we're all back. So I had when I shut down OBS and ended the stream in YouTube Studio, created a new well, that part about relaunching. Yeah, finish this first. Exited OBS. When I tried to relaunch it, it told me OBS was already running. So I went through Task Manager and found another OBS task, ended that. Then I was able to get back in and seems to be functional now. Yikes. This channel is about troubleshooting, resolving problems, thought
You think?
processes. So that's valid, right? That's valid content. Ay, caramba.
Still echoey in Zoom.
Yeah, your audio is not the best, but let's go with what it is. We've got you. We can see you. We can hear you.
Well, I will go back and listen to the audio later. And oh, I need to turn on recording in Zoom so that I can hear it. That was very helpful last week. And recording is on the more button. And then record to this computer.
Recording in progress.
And then when I end the session, it renders that video so that I can hear it. I want to let that go for a little while before I end it.
Z Manor said without script.
Yeah, I didn't have a script for any of that. I'm just that good. I kept the dialogue going, right? Yeah, well, maybe.
I think you need a new teleprompter.
Maybe I need a new technical director. That's what they call it in live shows, the one that's responsible for doing the switching. Technical director. I actually got training on that back in a past life.
I thought you was going to say technical difficulties.
Oh, Jose. He's trying to remind me to welcome him aboard. Hello, Jose.
I think he was actually telling you he's the technical director, but I could be out on a limb here.
Oh, yeah, I see that with all of those. All those screens look like they're set up for technical director. Jose, are you the one that caused me that trouble? Because it came right around the time you came in, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
I
That's
don't
exactly
know.
what happened.
He's neither confirming nor denying. Well, he's shaking his head no. I guess that denying a source. So I saw him just push a button there, but that button didn't work. Try pushing it again. Oh, it worked. Well, how about that? Now I saw you pointing to something else. What was that? Telephone. says, call me. He wants a job. That's what that is. This is a job interview. Where were we at?
Man,
Don't know, but I don't think Janet's going to show up in time.
Yeah, it
Not
doesn't
if
seem
she's
like
been
it.
watching the live stream. She's not. She's like, oh, heck no.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. She might have been saying, I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Or a 6-foot Greek.
oh man.
All right.
Maybe offer her tree fitty and she'll show up.
There you go. So do we want to debate my comment from yesterday's live stream?
Oh yeah, let me go bring that up. Let me give a recap of Janet's situation so people who aren't aware of it can come up to speed. And let's see, I've got to get this one arranged so that her email address doesn't show. And let's see if my red dot works. Yes. Doing a dummy check to make sure the address is not appearing anywhere. So she says, I finally felt like doing something with my desktop. I started uninstalling programs since I don't use them. Probably removed 20 programs and something may have removed something it shouldn't have. Thought I should do a restart, which was a fail. Got a blue screen. And the blue screen had an error indication of file boot BCD for boot configuration data. Error code gave us this number. And it said you'll need to use recovery tools. I do have a file called Janet's PC on external hard drive and file history. Just to refresh your memory, this PC was upgraded from 8 to 10 when they were giving it free. Is this fixable? Well, that opens up a conversation that we're going to have. I want to start by pointing out, reading between the lines up here, I finally felt like doing something with my desktop. This was one of the most important things I felt when you read between the lines. I do not think this computer is her daily driver. I am suspecting that she doesn't really care too much about salvaging it. Even if it is repairable, she might just as easily be talked into doing a fresh install of Windows 10. Since it was upgraded from Windows 8 to Windows 10, that's probably a healthy thing to do anyway. Then let's see, I want to see if there's any other comments I want to make from here before we go to Jim's comment. Yeah, this removed 20 programs. Something may have removed something it shouldn't have. Well, I don't think the uninstalling of the programs actually were the source of that, but I think this may have had something to do with it. Before I elaborate on that, I think it's more pertinent. Yeah, I said that word.
English.
To go to Jim's comment, which he put into channel comments, which I've been neglecting for quite a while. Let me see how else I can arrange this better. Oh, let me see what this does. No, I don't want to do it that way. Come back here. I'd like to make this bigger. There's no email address to expose. Now,
I certainly hope not.
all right, we'll do it this way. It doesn't look as good as I would like it to. But here's his comment. I was trying to make it larger.
Control plus will increase the font.
Yeah, but that doesn't do quite what we want, because it makes everything else up here bigger too. So it keeps the text down in this little tiny area. If I go over here, it'll view the comment on YouTube. Let's try it there. Let's see if it's, yeah, this is nice. This is easier here. Oh, wow. That's better. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to pull a lawn dog here. This might get a bit long. That's all friendly teasing. Lawn dog does a lot. He doesn't do a lot of typing. He does a lot of voice dictation. I'm not convinced that the removal of software is what did this, and I'm on board with that. It's more likely coincidence than anything else. Nah, I'm not so sure about the coincidence. Here's why I say that. If this machine was a machine that was upgraded from Windows 8 to Windows 10, yes, it was. It's likely 9 to 12 years old at minimum. Yes, Windows 10 was released in 2015, and that was 9 years old. I'm going to also go on a limb here and say that it's still running on the original spinning hard drive, probably. If so, I think it's an HDD failure or pending failure, agreed, not software removal issues, kind of sort of agree. While you could fix the boot file problem, I suspect this is just the beginning of problems to come, agreed. At a minimum, I would replace a hard disk drive with an SSD, agreed. Cloning is an option, but I go for backup recovery of existing data and clean install of Windows 10. Yes, clean install of Windows 10. She's told us about having a backup of Janet's file, something to that effect, and I don't think it's her daily driver. Also give considerable thought to replacing a system that likely isn't compatible with Windows 11. I suspect she already has a Windows 11. And when she said that I finally decided to do something with my desktop, that's where I'm thinking that this is not a frequently used computer. Jim says,
No,
of course,
sorry.
just my opinion. I could be wrong. That's a frequently used phrase from Dennis Miller, a comedian. Go ahead, Jim.
The other thing also is that she finally decided to do something, tells me that she was having problems with it in the first place, which I'm still going to point to a failing hard drive.
Yeah. So what I'm reading between the lines, and I it's just my opinion, I could be wrong, is that I think that this is not her regular normal use computer, and that she decided she was going to do something with it. So she wanted to go uninstall these 20 programs. Now, I don't think the uninstalls themselves caused the problem, but I think this is a hard drive that had been sitting for a long time, has got a lot of life on it. And then she started working it really, really hard by uninstalling 20 programs. And I'm thinking that that triggered this problem. Like you take an old car and go drive it real hard, and you very likely are going to cause problems to become apparent. An old computer, if you want to have it hanging around because there's something on that you care about, I'd rather just let it sit. Don't go uninstalling a bunch of programs. Now, if you want to keep using that hardware for a period of time, then do a fresh install of Windows 10 with an SSD. However, it's not going to be Windows 11 compatible, so do you really want to bother doing that? So we would get more details from Janet once we have that conversation. But yeah, I'm in agreement that it was coincidental that the drive went bad, but I'm thinking she kind of made it go bad because working it that hard in a short period of time. Not that the short period of time is a big deal, but just that experience of uninstalling 20 programs could have been more work than that hard drive has done for a year, if it's been sitting off at the side unused. But we don't know that. So that much information, if Janet comes back and watches the show, it is possible to fix that. There are methods for fixing boot configuration data. They are certainly not guaranteed. There's a few different routes to go. They are pretty time consuming, can be pretty time consuming. And the results, you wind up with a broken arm that has been repaired. It's not as good and as reliable. Is there a reason, Janet, that you want or need to get this drive back to functional? And if yes, or even if you're just curious about going through the experience, I'd be on board for that. But if you just want to get the computer usable again, the quickest, easiest route to do that would be fresh install Windows 10 on and recommending an SSD. You could do it on the hard drive if it's just not going to be used much. If the computer's not going to be used much at all and you don't want to put that money into it, then you could. And for the record, let the court show that Jim is shaking his head no to that.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
I would not try to do a fresh install on a questionable hard drive. That's an accident waiting to happen.
All right. Now, I recently had a hard drive in here this last week, and I showed you that it was, let's see, there were 2 of them that came in. It was non-bootable, and people in the chat comments when I read them afterwards were condemning the hard drive. When I went later and checked Crystal Disk Info and Crystal Disk Mark, that drive was performing as well as it ever had, and it did not have any errors through Crystal Disk Info. So I think that was the one that experienced a power outage and then would not boot up after that. So I think that one would actually function, although we're not doing that. We're replacing his computer because he needs to get to Windows 11 anyway. So my point there is that boot files can become damaged through causes other than unreliability of the drive itself, in my opinion. But it's not worthwhile to keep using an old hard drive. Just not a good idea, particularly in a business environment. So we don't know the details of what this computer is to Janet. So Janet, if you watch this video and you've got a response to send to me by email, that would be great. Sorry you weren't able to make it. I'm assuming if she showed up in chat, somebody would have given me a speaker bot for that. All right, 1254. I'm going to go look at my list and see if there's anything that I needed to deal with. I almost went up here to hit the edit button, but the only button up there is in stream.
That'd actually be fitting for this show today. So
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. You think? We did the unboxing. We did Janet. I'm not going to do the Outlook glitch because that's not urgent or important at all. Zoom participants. So, yeah, let's look at chat, see if there's anything there I need to get to. See, you know what I'm going to do here? How far back does that go? Oh, that goes to the beginning of this show. I'm going to just page through that, and that will be my new technique for getting back to read through chat if I wind up doing that. Okay, in Zoom, any final comments before we shut down?
Not me.
All right.
Nope.
Then I'll ask you to say goodbye to the audience, please.
Good night, Gracie.
bye.
Read chat, please.
Goodbye to the audience.
All right, then.
All
let's
three
see,
of
I'm
them.
He
gonna
says read
try
chat. Somebody
this.
says read chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll get that.
Z Manor.
Let's see. Does that button work? Nope. Zoom black mute. Does that? Okay, that mutes my microphone for Zoom, but this button was supposed to mute Zoom participants, and it does not. Okay, now let's go see that last thing in chat.
Yes, it does. I saw where it says host muted everyone.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
But I'm still hearing you.
That's because I immediately unmuted it because it didn't
Doug?
pop up.
Okay, well,
Doug, let me explain how Zoom works. You have a mute all, and if you allow people to unmute themselves, guess what? Now hit the mute all.
All right. Waiting room. I'm gonna try this mute part. I'm using a Stream Deck button. I'm trying to do it from Stream Deck, not Zoom. So it's wrong, Ken. So I'm gonna try that mute part. See, I've pressed that a few times. So maybe I muted you and unmuted. So I'm gonna try muting you. Oh yeah, all of your microphones went muted. Oh, I was looking down on my toolbar to see an indication of that, which it wouldn't show up there. All right. All right.
This guy seems
Well,
confused that
I've
he
never tried
doesn't
that
know what
before.
he's doing.
Yeah. Hey, what I am doing is demonstrating to the world on YouTube that even a computer technician with more than 2 years of experience can get it wrong, and it's okay. All right, back to here.
Don't you mean 20 years instead of 2 years?
Well, no, what I said is over 2 years. I've had more than 2 years of experience. I wasn't wrong. All right, now you're muted. You're muted because I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. And I was
Read
already
chat,
on board
please.
with you, Zavi Minor. I was already on board. What do you got now in chat? What are you doing now? I can't even get to it because this silly thing. Is the SSD vendor classified information? I never got to that, did I?
Nope.
Oh, Tim unmuted himself. All right, we're going into overtime. Oh, that's when things got all messed up. And the computer went to sleep, so that's why it didn't come up on screen. There it is on screen. Yeah, see, I just got into this folder, and that's when the Jose Alvarez effect came into play.
I'll be there Monday to start, Doug.
You know what? You'll be here
I'll
Monday.
start the new job Monday for technical director.
Oh, all right. All right. So I popped that out in projector window. And oh no, did I lie? I don't have crystal disk info there. Why did I think I did? This guy know what he's doing.
To Doug.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I go back.
Ran Israel said, look at device manager.
Oh, you want to see it from device manager? It seems to me device manager isn't quite so consistent. CYX. So of course nobody, and I also didn't tell you how much we paid for it.
Ken Stout Live said, I love what you have done with the waiting room.
Oh, he's still there, isn't he?
Just paying him back for all the times he's put me in the waiting room over on his channel.
All right.
How did it feel?
All right. So off track again. Yeah, so there's your SSD.
If you don't find these streams entertaining, there's something wrong with you.
Well, yeah, okay. That's got to be part of it, right? That was all prearranged. That whole thing was all prearranged. It was scripted. You think we claim that we're not running from a script, but I have a script. All of those guys that you see right now have a script, right?
And Ken's still muted.
Well, that's his doing. He doesn't know that he can unmute himself because he doesn't know that much about Zoom.
Myself. But last time when I was explaining the muting process, into the waiting room I went. So
yeah, and you probably
to Google,
you
it has
probably
SATA
didn't
level performance. Is this NVMe or SATA?
You probably didn't hear me explain that I was trying to deal with my Stream Deck mute buttons, not Zoom. I don't care about the Zoom.
Yeah, I heard that. I was watching the stream.
All right. All right. I think you were giving me instructions for Zoom muting.
From Zoom, right?
Yeah, I wasn't interested in that. So CYX,
well,
SSD, yes,
question.
That's valid. Go ahead.
So you muted everybody from your Stream Deck on Zoom?
Yes. So here's the mute participants button is what it's called. I'll show that to you here on monitor 1. Here's the mute participants button. And it is from the Zoom features, mute all participants right there. Just drag that onto the button and then I press that and it mutes them all. Now, in doing that, meeting menu, did I have to select? I think I might have had to select the window from here to get it to register the right window. Oh, I don't need that. All right, so here I'll press that button, and I think you'll see it press on that screen. There. Mute participants, it went black, but I don't see their microphones muted. Now they are. And then I press it again, and oh, I can't unmute your microphones. You have to unmute them. So go ahead and unmute your
Muting me.
microphones. Let's try another piece of that. So Tim is unmuted. I'm going to press that button again and not press it a second time. And what I want to know is, with a single press, are you able to unmute yourselves without me having to press it a second time? So here's one press. Now, can you, yes, he unmuted himself right away.
Yes.
And that's fine. I'm fine with that.
The only way to stop that is you'd have to go into Zoom and check where people can unmute themselves.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and I don't feel I need to go to that level with it. Then we found the SSD. I haven't yet told you how much we paid for that. AceMagic.
At the rate this show is going, I'm going to guess 35 pesos, but it's just a guess. Back to the waiting room I go.
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Oh, I've had all these correspondences with them. I got to get back to the original order. And I have other correspondence with AceMagic. You know what? I probably should go to their website. That might be the easiest way to get to it. I don't see any reason to not show this. I just used a link that took me straight to that dual screen laptop. And then this was 309. I don't think that was my purchase. I want to see how to get to my purchase history. Orders. Here, 269.79. So it was a bit better deal than what it's currently available. Here's 249. I should have checked the screen out for addresses first, but fortunately it's clean. Yeah, when I saw that 249, I said, oh, I got to try that. That's just cheaper than buying that amount of dirt.
How much time's on the hard drive?
Well, then we would need crystal disk info to do that. As far as I know. Let's get to, here's my SW setup, and I have crystal disk info. I think that 9.4.4 is current or reasonably current. And I did recently show a new computer that seemed to have kind of a high number of hours on it for being a brand new computer. I don't remember which one that was.
I got to bounce. Talk to you guys
All
later.
right. See you later, Tim. Thanks for hanging with us.
Sure.
Zavima Nor's got a link in chat. Oh, showing the CYX NVMe. I guess we actually didn't yet confirm that it is an NVMe, did we? I think last time I did it is the plain Jane generic one. Yeah.
Zvi Manor said it is SATA M2.
SATA M.2. All right. 10 hours. The computer's been powered on. Oh, that's the NVMe, the M.2 drive powered on. So SATA ATA 600/600 SSD. Now serial ATA, that's telling us that it's SATA. It would say NVMe in that field, right? If it was an NVMe. Does anybody in Zoom confirm that for me? Not hearing any response.
Because I was muted, that's correct.
That's correct. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. I've given you the price and we've looked at the drive. Is there anything else before I put this to bed? Okay, I'll take that as a no. And let me punch some things here. We have 2 columns, 2 rows. Those are moved wrong again. All right, so once again, I'll ask you to say goodbye to the audience. I'll keep Zoom open for a little bit.
Good night, John Boy.
All right. And the other 2 just wave, because this is a video audio program. They choose to
But
wave.
the last time I said something, off to the waiting room I went. So
Oh,
bye.
okay. Here we go.
Manage to grab a green button.
All right. Did that? That did not. I just try it again. There's the email address if you want to send a question or a topic for me to discuss on one of the shows, Monday through Friday. It's about half an hour long, and Saturdays 2 hours long. And sometimes we have fun with things not working right. Okay. Find a button. Find a button. Not that one. That one. Yeah, that'll work. Goodbye. Have a good weekend.